we have a game? There we go. All right. On the server. What was I saying? So, some older designs that I had for some builds, kind of like building shells, that I didn't end up having a specific use for. And I was thinking about this, like we're creating these ores for copper and tin and other things, and being able to, oh, it's night, let's sleep before we go outside. We need a place where we can automate having trains deliver those raw resources and process them, and get them sent over here to this factory, right? So we have this factory that's been sitting idle, taking up power from some windmills, but just kind of sitting idle here. And this factory needs some things. Yeah, so if we go up here, there's a few things this factory needs, and I don't know if we're really going to be able to do all of this today. So we have the dried kelp blocks that were being produced over there. We can deliver here. We have some clay that we're producing. We'll have to distribute it between over there and over here. We got rubber logs, which we don't... we have the tree farm stopped, but we could have the tree farm running again and have rubber logs. Zinc is something we've not really automated. Like, we don't have a place that produces that. So that would be a thing to do. So we'd have to just deliver zinc for a little while. But then copper, we are producing copper something. Is that raw copper that we're producing? I think raw copper and maybe copper nuggets, something like that. Or anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that it needs some processing before we can deliver it here to be used. We also need iron, which we don't really have anything. Oh right, we have a little thing over by the lava over there that can produce crimsite to be turned into iron. So there's like multiple steps to fully automate all this stuff, and the compressed andesite we have being produced that we can ship over. So we have a lot of the resources that this factory needs, and the other stuff we can... It's more difficult to really take advantage of this factory when we have to like bring over every single resource. But if we have a few of the things automated, that would be a real help. Just as a reminder, so we're going to be producing copper casings and andesite casings and andesite alloy here. And these are kind of like intermediate pieces anyway. Like, we need this to make this, to make this. And then we make brass in this factory, and also the brass casings. And of course, all of these things are very helpful for doing more factory builds and doing the other things we need to kind of continue progressing in the pack. And that was the idea behind building this. But to do that, or rather to take advantage of this now, we need to automate some resources. So what I have in mind for today, we are going to... There we go. So I have a design for a build, and that build is going to go right smack in here. I have put a couple of like corner markers here and kind of indicating the level of the build. So I have a whole schematic to basically print the shell of the building. But we're not going to do that today, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time gathering and making those blocks and doing that stuff. I would rather focus on things that are directly going to help rather than decoration, just for now. And so the idea I have here is we're going to build a little bit, enough of a floor to lay out where a foundry is going to go, and some belts to get material into the foundry, and some pipes to deliver lava for the foundry, and some pipes and other stuff to be able to get the items out of the produced resources, the metals, out of the foundry, and deliver them eventually onto trains. So we'll kind of take that kind of incrementally here. And then at some point later, I'll come back and print using the schematic cannon, put down the actual design of the build. I think I left the schematic cannon over there too. I don't see it, but I think it's over there. So that's the idea. So I think the first thing today is going to be getting some building blocks. Oh, there's the schematic cannon. Okay. So I had a schematic in there. I thought I had a schematic in there. Oh well, that's fine. I can always make it again. And this is what I get for doing things right before the server restarts, I think. But anyway, I know where the corners are, so I can like relocate where the schematic goes and all that stuff later. So that's fine. Next steps. Get some blocks, some temporary blocks for a floor. Won't go amiss. We'll also get some stuff to make a foundry. This is going to be... I'm going to kind of focus on kind of a smaller build for now and just get like things hooked up and figure out... I'm hoping that we can get trains coming over here today. And part of what I'm going to do here is I had originally intended to have this track come out here and go that way and kind of go at this level. I think what I'm going to have is I'm going to have the track continue to go down a little bit more so that it allows the train to go underneath the build. And I think that'll be good. Yeah. I'm debating right now. Maybe I'll take both tracks down, and maybe what we can do for this build, for the things we need, trains to deliver resources. I mean, I guess there's room here. How do I want to do that? I think I can make this work. So for the trains delivering stuff for this factory, I think I'll have this track here. I'll probably extend it a little bit further going this way, so that it can then eventually go down and meet up with this track, and I'll add a loop onto the end and going back. And I'll probably set a series of train stations in sequence. I think I can do that, and then that way that will offset where the storage interface on the trains will be. So that way I can have a separate one for each kind of item that I want to unload. Rather than what I did on the other build over several streams, but culminating in the last stream, which was to have several offshoots, several switches for bays, essentially. But we don't really have room for a bunch of bays here. And, yeah. So, that is something like a plan. My car's not over here, so I think I'm just going to have to run back up to the house. And get some materials to get us started with this build. How is the honey doing? Is it any higher than it was before? It's hard to say. What do we think? Is that area smaller? Or have we gone up a level? It doesn't really look like it. It looks like it's about the same height, which is, I guess if I was in such a hurry, I could add more beehives and bees and stuff, but it's fine. I don't actually have a use for infinite honey. I just thought it was appropriate to build it there since we were doing the infinite shimmer anyway. Alright, so I might just do like a cobblestone floor or whatever I have a lot of blocks of, probably cobble. Unless something else strikes my fancy, because this is very temporary until we get around to actually building the building around the foundry. And I want to put the floor there, and I'll take the car. I want to put the floor there so that I know that's where the final floor will go. And just like as a reference. Because I wouldn't want to like build the foundry and like build it too low and then have its blocks be either in the way of the build or get destroyed depending on how I set the schematic in. Alright, so what do we got here? What is the thing we have most of? I guess dirt. I'm not going to build out of dirt though. So we'll take many stacks of cobble. It's unfortunate we don't have like a builder's wand in this pack, but generally that's what I use the schematic cannon for, is to lay down a lot of blocks like that, but not today. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Foundry? I want scorched bricks. Now, we don't have scorched bricks. I do have the little foundry here. This is way too small, but I could probably take this and tear it down and use some of the blocks here. Like, we already have the foundry controller and a scorched fuel tank that would be useful. And then a scorched drain. I need at least a few of those. Just me on tonight. Okay. Yes. So. Oh, we have some scoria. Okay, that's not what I need though. Yeah. Scorched bricks. We need scorched brick. We need nether grout. Right. Magma cream, powdered obsidian, soul sand, and scoria. Scoria we make by smelting soul sand. So it's soul sand and powdered obsidian, which we have lots of obsidian. Maybe. There's some powdered obsidian. We don't have a lot of sand here, but we could have sand. If I... Let me check to see if there's any over here. Cobble. I wish this was not such a mess. Alright, so I'm going to turn a bunch of this cobble into gravel and then into sand. So we can turn it into soul sand. There we go, some more cobblestone. Okay. If I'm gonna do this, I might as well just make quite a bit. There we go. And then what else do we need? So there's gravel being made. That'll take a minute. While that's happening, wait, is there... We don't have a buffer of sand over here, do we? It's just clay, right? Clay and then flint. Also, I should take all this flint. Yes. Well, do I have... There we go. I have these crude storage units, which are very handy for transporting items. Did I need clay to make the nether grout? I should bookmark it. I do need magma cream. I think that was the constraint. Nose itching. The constraint last time I was trying to look at this is having enough magma cream from blaze powder. But I think that's no longer an issue. Let's see. If I want to pick up... Oh, right. If I want to pick up the crude storage unit, I need the Tech Reborn wrench. And I lost the last one that I had last stream. They are easy to make. I just need bronze. Do I have bronze, though? I may have used it all. I have 4 bronze sheets. Do I have... Aha, I have a bronze block. Yeah. It's been a while since we've... like, I've come over here every once in a while to pick up some cogwheels, but... there was a brief moment where this setup was very important. Combining tin and copper, making bronze. Alright. I think it's just 4. Yeah, great. I will try not to crush this wrench like I did the last one, but we'll see. Alright, yoink. It's very satisfying. Steam engine. Do I have more flints over here? A little bit. And we have steel dust. What are we doing with steel dust? We are superheating it. Did we do that upstairs? We did that, right? Because that was for the quest. Let me refresh my memory. Yeah, we made 8 steel ingots last time. Unlocking additional things. And I will be coming back to like improving our fuel production and other things. And moving us towards getting to Mercury. And unlocking Chapter 5. I'm just making a little bit of detour to attend to some of the foundational things. What's over on the other side? Okay, stuff we're not actually collecting. Okay. How do I... Okay, I can sneak through here. Good. This whole setup is quite a mess. But, just make do with what you have. Are we done with the gravel processing? Or rather, cobble into gravel. It looks like it. Alright, we should start seeing sand appear here. There we go. Great. And then we can grab some magma cream, because we should have a bunch over here. From, what were we processing that produces magma cream? We weren't centrifuging. Centrifuging? Whatever. Not... Oh, wait. I hit U. I need to hit R. Looking for what? Oh, yeah, we were sifting. We were sifting basalt. That's right. That's what's behind here. It's not running right now. Down there is a sifter. That's right. Alright, so we don't have a ton. That's going to be the constraint for making more nether grout. To make more foundry stuff. But we'll see how much we have in total. We'll take that and build something of a size. Alright, so I think we're done getting flint. So I'll pick that up. And I need flint for one of the processes over by the lava well. To make... Oh, I have some more flint here. I don't know why I had a stack of flint on me. Probably something that happened last stream. What was it saying? So this is probably enough sand for us right now, because so the nether grout, it's 1 and 1 and 1. The scoria is 1 to 1 from soul sand. So we have, it's basically 2 to 1. So we have almost 2 stacks. So we really only need like 4 stacks of sand. So we should be good. And I think we have everything we need to proceed with making the nether grout down at spawn in kind of the shared area. So I'm going to go down there. These roads are nice. It's much appreciated. Alright, so we need to do some bulk haunting. I just need to wait for this to convert into soul sand, and then I can switch the filter on the crude storage. One of the reasons I want to really focus on getting the brass factory operational is I have, and I think I mentioned this on the last Minecraft stream, I have this design for a really kind of a next level in terms of what we built here so far. A next level zinc factory. It does more than produce zinc because it has a lot of it produces an excess of the input, so it's producing extra sand and soul sand and see, what is the chain here, right? So we use soul sand and we wash, we haunt it the end, so it produces excess netherrack, and the netherrack can be crushed into netherrack dust, which can be combined with sand to make red sand, which can be washed to give you zinc nuggets, and dead bushes. The dead bushes, okay, you can make sticks with them. The zinc is useful. The red sand is not too useful on its own, but because it's made from sand, we're crushing cobble into gravel into sand on like a bunch. So there's extra gravel and flint and sand. And then there's extra netherrack for, I don't think there's a lot of other uses for netherrack in this. Maybe you can make nether bricks and stuff. But then the netherrack, so we have excess soul sand. Soul sand could also be used, can be washed to get gold and nether quartz. I don't think the factory design that I have does that, but you could add that on. You can industrial centrifuge, get saltpeter and coal dust and stuff, and oil. So probably want to do that, and that will probably be the big, once we build that factory, that'll be kind of the next add-on to it. We'll be taking the soul sand and producing oil cells, because I believe there is a surplus, and if not, there's so much sand, we can convert more sand into soul sand, you know. Anyway, 2, 3, 4, so that should be enough. We need powdered obsidian, but we can use the millstone. I just need obsidian. Oh, it's night. Let's sleep. Almost run through another sleeping bag. Alright, so let's go get some obsidian. Let's see, is there a road over that way? I guess I could pay attention to the mini-map. Looks like there's a road up here and down. There we go. Let's see, we needed flint here as well, right? To stock up for some of these things. Here and here. I'm gonna take I guess as much as I can carry, and I'll put it in each box. There's a spider somewhere. And then I was here for obsidian. Oh, there's a spider. So we have obsidian being produced, and are we? Oh, we are making powdered obsidian. Cool. So I'll just take a couple stacks, just so I have some extra for next time around. And it's raining. All right. So I think that's all we need to make nether ground. And I know I've made it over in the, oh, that's too far. There we go. Over here. So I come back over here and go back to one of our original builds. One of the very first builds in this style of using these create deco blocks and stuff. And, alright, I don't have the, do I even have fuel? Is this a heated? It is a heated thing. Okay, so I need some kind of fuel as well. Do I have any coal or charcoal? Could use dried kelp blocks, I think. Let's confirm that. Actually... So this is why I'm not in here all the time using this stuff, besides the fact that it's far from where a lot of the machinery is. It's also a really tiny hut with a lot of awkward jumps involved to navigate it. Okay, so anyway, so we're doing... Oh, it's 3 pattern. Okay, I'm glad I got extras then. So it's 3 to 1 to 1 to 1. Oh, right, but we didn't make the scoria. We need to bulk blast the cell sand to make scoria. So we are missing a step. Fortunately, there wasn't a train coming around that corner right then. And fortunately, we just need to come over here. Somewhere is the hitbox. There we go. All right, and then I think we're going to process 2 stacks of these. There's one. Oh, there was a quest. Gather for... Oh, right. This is something we had done once, but then I accidentally reset quests by leaving the team of me that I had made previously. And so... Was it in chapter 3? Yeah. Soul soil? What do I need soul soil for? I don't need soul soil. Oh, I was not paying attention, and I think I must have destroyed that. Whoopsie. There we go. Looks like our other soul sand is done. Can we... Now we can haunt again to make that netherrack, but we don't need to do that. Yeah, I heard you. Sounded exciting. Okay, got the scoria. Oh, I can complete that other quest, I think, if I just put some dirt and the bulk haunting setup. And let's see, let's put something in to block that from being picked up. Alright, it's being bulk haunted right now. Oh, that's the music track. It's like, what is that ticking? completed a few different tasks, apparently. There we go. Stuff that I'm pretty sure I had completed once before, but get those things checked off anyway. Alright, so I need to throw in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what that means. Also, didn't I pick up, oh, I didn't put soul sand on the burner. I put dry kelp blocks. Whoops. I think that's what happened. And so, it just destroyed it. There we go. Okay, so now I think, I mean, I was throwing whole stacks of things, so I think that means that we have a stack of nether grout being made over here. Make sure that stays heated. And, okay, 49. I can see powdered obsidian for some reason. But as long as there are particles, then I know this is still processing. Oh, and I can see the number going down. Okay, so this is going to take a minute. What can we do with our time in the meantime? Do we have enough to make more. Not enough powdered obsidian to use all of the things, magma cream that I have. So I'm gonna drive over and get another little bit of powdered obsidian. I think I'm just gonna go this way. So it'll be faster, more direct. Oh, there's a little bit of red there too. All right, cool. Let's just drive over to here. There, we got a very large buffer of all of these things, powdered obsidian, and train's coming. I mean, as long as we're in the car, we're fine. Alright. So, these, the material that I'm making now, this nether grout, it's going to let us make, makes 3 per. We can smelt or bulk blast into scorched bricks. The scorched bricks are combined together to make scorched bricks, the block. And this is the main block that you can use to make the Hephaestus, which is like Tinker's Construct, foundry. And the foundry is what's going to let us make... well, let me give an example. So, I was mentioning before we were making this copper. We're making acerine. Veridium is the one that's... Veridium is the ore that we're producing via some processes in a factory. And the veridium we can crush. And so this is giving us raw copper and copper nuggets. I think probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to have both the copper nuggets and the raw copper both go into the foundry, just to make it easier to get everything into ingots, rather than having like a separate path where we'll... I mean, I guess we could split off the copper nuggets. Might be more interesting. Split off nuggets and compact them in separate compacting basins. But anyway, for the foundry, the cool thing about this is that the raw copper can be taken and crushed. Oh, Do we still need to crush the raw copper? I think we still need to. So we'll need some crushing wheels over there. But then you get crushed copper ore. 1 1/3 essentially per raw copper. The crushed, you can wash it to get a chance for some clay. But what we can do with the foundry is we can put 1 crushed copper ore, and we get 1 ingot plus 4 nuggets worth of molten copper, and we get a little bit of gold. And so all of the foundry recipes, like when you put in some raw material, you get a bonus amount of the raw material, and you get a different material as well. So you really want to do everything you can in the foundry. Do all that processing there. Okay, so now scoria, soul sand, magma cream, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. So the issue is that 1, 2. The basin can't actually hold the 3 stacks of powdered obsidian. It is powdered obsidian, right? That we need 3 of. I see. Okay. So what happened there, I think, is just... I'm not sure. Like, we only have, like, a stack of nethergrout here. How does that work? If I had put in 3 stacks of powdered obsidian, then we should have gotten 3 stacks of nethergrout. So... okay, I think I get it. We'll see. Also, I need to make sure I fuel this up. And I should also, just to be cautious, I'm going to put the nethergrout recipe filter on. Okay, so we have that much nethergrout. Right, how much magma cream did I start with? I thought I start with just shy of 2 stacks, right? So I think I processed like 1/3 of a stack of magma cream because it only took it. Does that mean that there are now 3 stacks? Whoops. I didn't mean to click that. Okay, well, anyway. Soul sand, scoria, powdered obsidian, soul sand, magma cream. How much can we make it take? Okay. So I guess ideally what you'd want to do is you want to set up something where you were putting a belt. Oh. Is that still a thing? Baseball in Japan? More popular than ever. Okay. What about the belts? Well, if I wanted to spend the time to like automate this, you could have belts delivering the items, and they would just like continually dump in resources as they're needed, and we'd be like have another belt with the resources coming out, so it'd be like continuous, and I wouldn't be babysitting this. But I really just need to do this to be able to do the next thing anyway. I have this set up, so I'm just kind of like doing it manually till it's done. I guess the question is how much nether grout do I need? Right, so it's going to be 4 nether grout to make the bricks, to make the block. So each block is 4 nether grouts. How many blocks do I need? Well, I probably, for starters, want to have... I mean, really, I don't have enough stuff. Really what I want is a bigger foundry than what I can make with the resources I have available right now. I need to go get basalt from the other thing and start processing it. I think that's what I'll do. So I am going to wait for this to finish. I'm going to load in the next set of resources. Can I throw some more powder obsidian in it while I take it? I think maybe I took some of it. So I'm going to let that, if I can do that. So I'm going to throw in a stack. What comes back? Okay, I'm going to throw in 48. What comes back? 45. So it is taking some. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go over and pick up some salt, and I'm going to drop it off over at the sifter, so we can make some more thingy. Magma cream. I don't know why I have a block on that word, but phrase? Thing? So where are we going? We're going over to the stone quarry, which is also where I have some other, basically a bunch of different kinds of stone, and stone adjacent things, automated. Kind of representing the idea of, like, if we were actually, like, drilling or otherwise mining the world, but instead of mining the world, we just generate the blocks, because that is doable and infinite. Have we, how's our backlog of cobble doing? Looks like still good. We've not depleted all the reserve cobble we have here yet. At some point we will, and then this will stop outputting because it's currently set to filter, only extracting cobblestone. But what's coming in to the storage is a different block, compressed andesite. So at some point we'll have to change things to take compressed andesite, but for now we have a lot of cobble buffered. Okay, there's my quadricopter. Someone else's quadricopter is down there, I guess. Let's see. How do I guess I go over here. That's how I get down. I could get in my quadricopter and fly down, but we have this nice little staircase. Well, up till here. And then it's a little bit more old-fashioned. Let's see here. Someone was here. Ah. Wait, what? Oh, I see. We're backed up because... Oh, wow. So this whole thing here is full of moon cobblestone, apparently. Can we make this vault any bigger? Nope, because I don't have any vault blocks. Okay. So I think... Hello. Where did this come from? I don't really want all this moon. You know what I could do? I have some crude storage units. I could probably collect... Not like that. Collect some of the moon cobblestone for later. I don't remember leaving that there, so I think someone came down and probably had an inventory full of stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to get my wrench. I'm going to move this box somewhere more convenient. Yeah, here we go. Make some room. So now there should be some basalt flowing. Oh, apparently I need basalt for a quest. Great. Let's get a box. And get that basalt in there. Is there more? No, it's all in cobblestone. I'll take that too. I think the other thing I could do is put a brass funnel and just take some of the items out. Is that it? No. So what's neat is when it throws a stack like this, the funnel's like, oh, I have something right in front of me. I'm not going to take anything else out, so this won't like dump the entire contents of the vault into the world. Unless you have something that's pulling the items away from the belt. Okay. And then flip that around the other way, and I'll put the rest back in. The rest back in. And that's not the right kind of wrench. I am going to need that though. This wrench. There we go. Great. Alright. That was all I wanted to do over here for right now. At some point, what I need to do is have all the stuff that's being produced get put on a train and shipped to somewhere where we're going to process it. But that's not what I'm doing today. And why do I want to do that? Well, there's a lot of resources, a lot of metals that can be produced from those blocks. That's why they're being made down there. So there's a material called dash that's used for some pieces of technology, and then there's silver that can be made from the limestone. So the limestone can be crushed into lime dust and then washed, and you get silver. And silver is used for many technological items. But we'll get there eventually. There's not really a point in really mass producing that stuff until we have a place for all of the raw ore material that's going to be produced to go. Just ignore the fact that I built this in contradiction to that. But it's time to attend to this foundry. We do have a community foundry that's set up over yonder in the fog, but that is not really set up to like deliver materials into. So right. Can't ignore when everything looks awesome. Well, it's been a lot of hours getting here. Every single time I think of a phrase like that, it's been a long something, getting from something. I think of the song from Enterprise. Now maybe you can too. Right, so I'm here to add some more powdered obsidian. No, it's full of stuff. So let's powdered obsidian, soul sand. Oh, it's probably out of heat. Soul sand, magma cream. Right, it can't do anything because it doesn't have heat. There we go. Alright, so let's make sure everything is topped up. Scoria, soul sand, thing. Alright, so there should be like one stack of powdered obsidian in there, and I want to give it the other two without getting them picked back up. So let's see if I can toss those right on top. Great. So that should process for a little while, and in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the base and grab this basalt and put it in the sifter. Well, okay, I guess I'm going this way. Drive up the track. Yeah, so this is why the roads are nicer. Not getting caught up on blocks. It's very satisfying just seeing the trains go by, even the derpy looking ones that are just a platform with a seat and a horse driving it. Alright, so I'm gonna collect this box. Yoink. And put this box on. And then we're gonna configure it to output down. And then we need to restore power here. Alright, so that is slowly going to make more magma cream. Hey, look, there's already one. Great. So that's all I want to do up here for the moment. Let's sunset. I'm gonna go by the house and pass the night, and then go down and continue making grout of the nether variety. Thinking there might be some more magma cream in here or something. A bunch of iron could be processed. Brought in other resources. There's a lot of stuff from the earlier days that just never made it into the jaws of the crushing wheel. Alright, this ran out of heat, didn't it? Kelp. Alright, well, this is gonna take a minute. So we'll see total number of blocks. So we're at 2 stacks, 2.5 stacks of nether grout. Maybe we're gonna get 3 more stacks. So that's gonna be 5.5. This is not evenly divided by 4. If we had 4 stacks, that'll be 1 stack, 64. So let's say there's 100. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Well, 23. So we'll have, like, let's say 120 to 130 blocks. Now that's not going to make a very large foundry, honestly. And we need to save some of the bricks. So the bricks are not just used to make the blocks, but also other kinds of other kinds of things that we'll need, I think. So I think we want the let's see, foundry fluid input and output. So we're probably going to want more of these. So we need, but I guess that's fine because that's 4, which you also use 4 to make a block. So it all adds up to be about the same. We are short something. What is it that... Oh, maybe we're full on... yeah, we had a full stack in nether grounds. I see. So that's the limitation. Even if we can put in enough powdered obsidian to make 3 stacks, that stack of nether grout kind of occupies the basin and prevents it from doing anything more. So that's fine. There. Now we have stuff for another stack. Soul sand. I have that soul soil. I don't have anything to do with that. It's not going to do anything for me. And I'm going to mark... what am I trying to say? I'm going to fill those slots so that stuff doesn't go up in there when I grab stuff out of here. Okay, so let's say 120-ish blocks. So for the foundry, you have to have like a base. I'm sure I didn't say anything that would be suggestive of anything in any way. You have to have a base, so a square base for the foundry of blocks, and then it has walls. The walls have to be at the perimeter of the base. You have to have all 4 walls. You can get away with just like a base and then 1 high wall all the way around the perimeter. You can do that. Unlike the smeltery or whatever it's called, the basic one for tinkers, where you can not have the base underneath the wall. I believe for the foundry you have to have the full base under the wall. You have to have the foundry controller, and you have to have blocks to get items in and fluids out. And yeah, that's basically it, right? So one limitation is, like, if you want a foundry that has an interior dimension of 3x3, so you have 9 places for ores to be melted, that means you need a 5x5 base. So you need 25 blocks just for the base, and then you need 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Wait, no. 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 blocks for the perimeter. So 5 and 5, and then 3 and 3. So 10, 16. So you need 16 blocks per level. So for just like a 9 items processed in one go, you need 25 plus 16, 30, 41 blocks just for that. And then if you want to go taller, you just add another 16, and that gives you another 9 that you can process at a time. Whereas if you go 7x7, that gives you an interior 25 spots to process items concurrently, and it's not much more per level, right? So the scaling is kind of interesting for making the foundry. Now, the width of it controls... Can you make a rectangular foundry? I guess maybe you can. You can make a rectangular factory, but I don't think it really changes the math a lot. The bigger you make it, like the bigger the foundation is, the more items you can process in at a time. It doesn't... There is some impact. It also influences how much total molten metal can be held in the foundry, but you can hold a lot more metal than you can process items at a time. So, good stuff. Let's see. Just totally... There we go. Okay. Soul sand. And powdered obsidian. There we go. Going again. Alright. So we're at 4.5 stacks. Maybe we're going to get another stack out of this. So once we get the rest of this nether grout, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put it in the blasting setup, turn it into the scorched bricks, and then I'll go and disassemble the existing foundry, so that we can take those blocks and combine it with this stuff, and we can make a bigger foundry. Yeah. There is an upper limit on the size of the foundry. I want to say it might be like 16 by 16, like taking up a chunk. I think that was the size of foundry that I was testing before. You know, that's 16 times 16 is 32 times 8, 64 times 4, 256 blocks. And I don't have 256 plus making a perimeter, which would be another 16, not quite 64 blocks. So I don't have the materials to do that, but it would be tempting, right? That'd be cool. Be able to process a lot of items at the same time. So, but we can always expand it later. And in fact, it doesn't even, as long as you don't break the foundry controller, you can like do a bunch of stuff, remove blocks, and I'm pretty sure it generally remembers the materials that you had in it, as long as you don't break the foundry controller. But yeah, so it's sunset. I can tell from the cuckoo clock, wherever it is. It's somewhere over there. Just keep mobs down by sleeping. More daylight should mean more honey too. Again, not that I really have a use for a huge vast of honey, but I'm sure I could come up with one. What can you do with honey in this? I mean, we're using it, well, sort of. We're sort of using it to make limestone, but the way it's being used right now doesn't actually consume the honey due to how Create works. But you can make honey blocks. Let's imagine just a big honey block build. You can make honey glazed ham with sweet berries and stuff. You can make honey cookies. You just make sugar. You can compact honey into blocks. You can, various automations. And you make honey embellishment, whatever that does. You can use honey in the aging barrel from Astral Binary. Make some fancy wines. That's it. A few things. Alright, that might be it. What's still in there? Looks like soul sand. But do we... yeah, we still have scoria. Powder obsidian, magma cream. We have a little bit. Keep fueling. So, I think we're almost done with this, and it'll be time to move on to building a new foundry. And then, by that point, it'll probably be time to take my midstream break. After that, I think we're done with this. After that, probably trains, like logistics, getting things hooked up. Alright, I need to be in this view to be able to sort my inventory. There we go. Alright, cool. Okay, and I think I'm going to put the rest of the dried kelp back in the storage over here for others to use. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna take, let's see, powder obsidian, soil, scoria, soul sand. Is there a spot for soul sand over here? Do I want there to be? Here, we're not storing any sand here. Have some soul sand. There. Okay. So, I don't have a setup right now to really properly bulk process, so let's set that up. So, nether grout goes in here into this box, and then I don't need to lock it. And then output to the left, auto output, put it on the depot. That'll get turned into, whatever, scorched bricks. I'll set this to auto input, and we're ready to accept it. So I'll take the cobble back out, and yeah, I don't need to lock this either because this is kind of a one-time thing. So I put all of my nether grout, all 232 plus 2 stacks, in that box, and it will go onto there. It'll get pulled out by this box, this crude storage unit, and this will happen. So while this is processing, let's do a different thing. So I'm gonna go and put down that temporary floor that I talked about an hour ago, and dodge the trains. All right. So we are the build area for this is pretty large. It's actually bigger than the area that is being shown. Well, I guess you'll see in a second. So let's get back over here. Have to cut down these trees as well. So this is the level of the floor, and this is the corner. So the actual interior is going to come from here and go this way. And no, the trees are not actually part of the build. I'm just, I want to kind of get some stuff laid down before I come back and cut the trees down. So I have a way to maneuver around. Hopefully I did this right. Yes. So this is the interior corner, right? So the wall is here, is I believe what I was intending. Like that's why this is stuck up. If not, I'll be off in the actual like floor. The interior is over here, but that's fine. That gives us margin. Alright, so we're going that way. Some very classic Minecraft building. I don't know how many hours of my life I have spent sneaking, walking backwards, placing blocks. Is it thousands? No. Hundreds? Probably. Yeah, this is right, because the wall is 1 thick and is going to directly be right against this gray concrete road here. So that checks out. Right, so like I was saying, this is quite a large built area, and I'm not going to be using a lot of it right now, but I'm leaving room to be able to expand it. Expand the foundry and the logistical belts. Sounds fancy. The logistics of the belts that are going to move items around. And get them on trains and all that sort of stuff. So, there we go. All right. as classic as this is something I've just not done a lot on stream. I've not done a lot of building stuff by hand. Kind of the classic Minecraft experience, other than like very, very early on. Because, I mean, this is utilitarian, right? I'm just putting down a floor to have a space to work on that I know won't be in the way later. But when it comes to building, I really do like being able to fly around and be in creative mode for doing stuff. Being able to teleport around and copy paste, and it makes it really easy. Like, if you're not spending a bunch of time just like getting the blocks down, then you don't feel bad if you have to go back and just throw everything away. You're like, oh no, this didn't work out. This is, or oh, I mismeasured that, and the wall is even. That's a big deal if you're building by hand, but if you're in creative and you have like world edit, you can just like select an area and just cut it and paste it. And yeah. Do I have an axe? I had an axe. I might need to see if I can find it. Whoops. Suddenly loud music. Well, not loud, but louder than it was. Oh, you know what might be good? I made this extendo grip. Seems like forever ago. And that allows me to really reach out and touch stuff. Like all the way out there. That's nice. How far can I reach? Not that far. There. Yeah, it's well mixed, the sound, yeah. Yeah, I have trying to keep the music at a reasonable volume and not being like overwhelming and not being you know, too quiet where you can't even hear it is it's an ongoing struggle. I know. Oh yeah. There was a stream. This was back a few weeks ago. Intrusive to the game sound. Yeah. There was a stream. There was a stream a number of weeks ago where we were talking like stuff like this about like music audio levels and mixing and that sort of stuff. And Runicro was talking about some options, and I don't think I ever heard back about that, but that's fine. Yeah, there's like some audio ducking stuff. There should be like a way to make it so that I don't know. It's tricky, but I feel like there should be a way to make it so that if the to make it so that one thing doesn't override the sound of the other. Like if one thing is getting too loud relative to the other thing, it gets ducked, I think is actually the word. But I don't know how to set that up, so I just adjust it manually whenever I notice there's something not quite right. So like right now, the pretzel audio player music, the audio level is negative 33.7 decibels. And then like when I'm like in the intro portion or when I'm away, I want the music to be louder, so I'll set it to like negative 20 decibels. Alright, how much cobble do I have left? Probably not enough to actually fill this whole area in. I should probably decide where... So let's get a sense of this. Okay, so we are now kind of on the edge in the center of this build. So it goes all the way over to there. It comes over to here. And so the wall's going to be here, and there's a wall over there, and over there, and over there. Go figure. 4 walls in the building. Imagine that. But I think I'll just focus on putting the foundry kind of like in the middle to leave lots of room around for figuring out what we're doing with running stuff in. It's I think what I'll do is that like all the piping and logistics and stuff I may do like on that side, and maybe some stuff over here, leaving like a path, because the doors will be over here and over here coming in, and I want to leave this whole space empty so that if I want to expand the foundry like horizontally, it can go back and come back into the left. Yeah, so that'll be the plan. Let's see how that works. Middle click to select the block. It's really great. And the animation on the extended grip is pretty satisfying. So kudos to whoever did that on the Create team. So this looks like, I think I'm gonna just start from like here and work my way over. Okay, I have a few more stacks of cobblestone. We'll make it. And like I said, I think what I'll do is when we get to the when we get to the train stuff, I'm gonna lower the tracks a bit and have the trains go underneath this. It'll be a little bit different than the other things we've done with trains, where they're going in bays or they are. I guess that's been pretty much the strategy, right? Just having trains come up to the build to the side, and then having belts that are pulling items in or taking items out. All right, so let's. I guess the other reason that I've avoided doing this sort of thing, besides the fact that I prefer doing it in creative, is that, you know, with the lack of a builder's wand, it is a little bit more tedious to do this sort of thing versus in a pack with a builder's wand. Of course, you know, if you're playing vanilla Minecraft, it's TDM all the way. So I have no room to talk. So that, just going up to here. There we go. Okay, so the all of the thingies, the scorched bricks should be done by now. So I'm gonna go collect those. Collect my car on the way. I need to go find. Is it here and I just don't see it, or is it in one of my toolboxes? Maybe it's in a tool in the tools toolbox. Well, there was a slot for an axe, but there was no axe in there. So I'll make or obtain an axe in some way to clear out some of those trees. We'll also pick up the scorched brick. And disassemble the foundry. Yeah, so this is empty, yes. And we have 351. That completed some quests. So yeah, 5.5 stacks, almost exactly. That piece of grass is in the way. There we go. Let's go right and we'll go up the road. I wonder whatever happened to that bear that was over here. I'm gonna think about it every single time I go past up the road and past the cemetery. All right. So axe, foundry, and was there anything else? Okay, we got a couple of axes. So, I guess the Certus Quartz axe is good enough. Do I want more cobblestone? Do I have more cobblestone? I got one blast-resistant concrete in there. There's some cobblestone here. Cool. And now we need to empty this. Bunch of silver waiting to be processed there. And I'm going to leave the chest here, and I'm going to collect. We're going to want these casting basins. Because that's kind of my plan for getting items, for getting the metal out, right? Is ultimately going to be into casting basins to make blocks. And then we can take the blocks and convert them into ingots. How do I feel about that now that I've said that? Because we can cast the metal into blocks. I think it ends up being the same amount of time, right? So the issue is that like pouring the molten metal into an ingot cast versus a block representing 9 ingots, takes 9 times as long to pour. I go with my gut one. My gut is to think it through. So you can compact. Oh, interesting. Not what I'm looking for. Isn't there a way to? Yeah, you can spend power to convert a block of iron into 9 iron ingots. So you could cast the block and then uncraft the block into ingots, because we need ingots for where they're going ultimately. Or do we? Yeah, I think we do, because there's things that like need iron nuggets. Anyway, it's just easier to deliver stuff in the form of iron ingots. The issue is that it's not slower or faster one versus the other. I'm pretty sure that the casting the block takes 9 times as long as casting the individual ingots. The issue is that then you have to have 9 ingot casts and casting tables and spouts to be able to draw out the same amount of material. So it's a throughput issue, right? So it doesn't take any less time or more time, but it's about the amount of material that you're getting out of the system. And does that matter? So if we did auto crafting of the blocks into ingots, then it's going to take time to do that, and that is going to be a bottleneck in and of itself. We could spread that out, but that takes more space. And if we're spending the space, we might as well just use the casting tables and ingot casts, and just make a bunch of them, and then we can cast ingots of whatever. Yeah, so this is not what I had originally designed. I was planning on using casting basins But I think the tables make more sense. They use the same amount of material to make as the basins anyway, so whatever. But what I want to do here, we have a bunch of stuff in the foundry, and so all that stuff needs to come out. And so I'm going to just undo the thing I just did. And we're going to pour out the metal that's in here, so we don't lose anything. Alright, so we got 2 blocks of molten lead. Now, so this exemplifies a problem. So if we want to get material out, we have to like cast it into something. And you can only cast one thing at a time. Like what happens, like if you're gonna automate the foundry, right? How do you do that? Right, we can put a funnel and a belt into the controller or into item chutes if we want to like put in multiple feeds of items at the same time. But how do you get items out? Well, I've thought about this. So you can have multiple drains. Now, a thing you could do is to have, there's another thing, it's not called a drain, it's called something else, that allows you to put in a thing that filters the kind of material that can be drawn out. And that's the solution. I think that's the one the Community Foundry uses, so that you can just have levers set up or redstone control to control when the faucet is activated, and then each faucet is tied to a particular kind of item, a particular kind of metal that is drawn from it. So you have a bunch of different drains with faucets and basins or casting tables, what have you, and you have them all set up in a row around the foundry, and then there we go, get more copper out. And then you can basically do things in parallel like that. There are issues with that. You're essentially occupying this drain while you're waiting for that to pour out. There are faster ways of getting the molten metal out of the foundry. You can use a pump, and you can pump the metal directly out into a tank. And by doing that, you can draw the material much faster than the pour animation happens. You can also, if you are using a pump, instead of using the filtering of the drain, or the thing that's not the drain, the other thing, instead of using that, you can use a smart pipe from Create and do the filtering there, and that's a little bit easier to do, I think, maybe. Yeah, because you can make a filter. You don't actually have to have all the metals. I think you can make a filter and then like drag from REI into the filter without actually having to have the metal on hand. I think that works. I guess we're gonna find out at some point. I think when I was testing this in creative, I just grabbed buckets of the molten metal. So I could be wrong about whether that works or not. If it doesn't, that's fine. We can get the molten metal once we have it into a tank. And we'll just have to control what ends up in the foundry until we have that all set up. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this lever for a little bit. Let the molten silver drain out. And then I think we're sub-block on everything else. So I'll switch over to the casting table. Get the last little bits out. So I kind of skipped the middle of the explanation for why I wanted to do all that stuff I just said. So you can imagine if you have this, the drain, so it's not filtering and it's just dumping metal, right? What's going to happen is we're going to get to a point where there's less than one block left, and it's not going to stop from pouring. It will try to pour whatever metal's in there And when that happens, we'll end up with a partial amount of silver. And we won't be able to process any of the metals. We won't be able to extract them. You know, it'll make room in the foundry for more stuff to go into. Eventually it'll fill up, though, if we don't get more silver to be able to finish the partial cast. And so even if you have multiple, you really need the filtering version that way, which is not a big deal. It's not the drain, it's the duct, right? Oh, it is a big deal because it takes cobalt. It takes cobalt to make that versus obsidian planes to make the drain. Speaking of which, do we have any obsidian planes? Two. Okay, this can be cast. Okay, do I have obsidian? Clearly not. Okay. Do I have obsidian? Nope. Okay. Oop. How are we doing? Down to 2 blocks. So I need to check to see if we have now at least a block. We do. Okay, I'm gonna switch that lever off and I'll trigger the last one by hand. Alright, and then time for the casting table to come out. Now, the question is, am I going to then do nugget-based casting? I think not. I don't think I care about less than an ingot. So you can see casting the ingots are much faster. They pour and they solidify much faster. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even care about this amount of material, given the scale of some things presently or in the future, but it just seems wrong to just like let all this stuff go, especially the cobalt. It's not an automatable resource, except in the sense that I guess you could build a thing that like mined, like the quarry or some other stuff I guess you could do on the moon. As far as I know, that's the only place where there's cobalt. Cobalt ore is on the moon. Maybe it's in other places, but I don't know. Maybe there's some on Mercury. Alright, we got 6 ingots of lead. What's left after this? We got dash and zinc. Two more. 1, 2. Okay, let's get that zinc. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. So once we get the dash out, I'm not sure how much 75,000 droplets is, so I'm just gonna keep on going until it doesn't fill a whole ingot, and then we're done. And then I think the fuel holding here, the lava, will persist even once we break it. So we're gonna find out if that's true. And I'm just gonna tear everything down, and then once that happens, it'll be time for a break. And then after the break, we'll be putting together the new foundry. Like the old foundry, but bigger and in a different place. Okay, there we go. That is all of it. Alright, so I do want that on me. And I probably want the block of gold because I'm probably going to cast more ingot casts. Yeah, and that's fine for now. There's other stuff there. So, take the lever. Hey, I completed a task. And another task. How about a third task? I already had that one. What tasks are these? They're the ones from chapter 3, right? We need 24 scorched bricks. Okay, we could probably do that. How many scorched bricks is this? So we had 0. So the minimal number of scorched bricks is what you're seeing right here to be able to make a foundry. So this is literally the smallest foundry you can make. Is that true? No, you can make one smaller, right? Because you don't need that top level. It only needs to be like 2 levels tall. So that was 21. Now, let's complete the quest. There we go. Does that get us anything? It gets us some books that I already have. Cool. And it tells us about some other stuff. Where are my alloys? You gotta use the mixer. You gotta use the mixer to mix metals together. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Alright, cool. Yeah, there are some good rewards in the quest book. Especially earlier on. Not so much afterwards. Oh, golden apple. Cool. Anyway. Right, so that is a foundry. Torn down. And carbon or ash. I wish. So the problem sometimes, I don't remember what I say like 5 seconds after I say it, so. Alright. Oh, there, yeah, of course there are monsters under there. Alright, so I'm going to pause here.